So I was finally ready to start detailing the interior of the new shop going into the town square. I had to start by taking the shell off of the building, and here's basically what it looks like inside. It's sort of a hodgepodge of different things. I used an awful lot of tape to basically fit everything together. So the first thing I had to do was undo a lot of the tape holding my little hodgepodge together. I needed to get a light that I currently had over the pharmacy, which you really can't even see because Walther's had such a thick papered window cover. But I was going to use the light, the little LED plug-in from Woodland Scenics. So I needed to reposition that over the interior of the new shop and tape it down a little bit so that it wouldn't move whenever I put the building back in place. Then basically put it all back together and start working on some of the details. Now this was originally going to be a boot shop, but because I could never find or make the details I needed, it sat empty for a long time. So first thing I needed to do was figure out how I was going to create a bakery, which means there needed to be room for a kitchen in the back. So started out with making a little wall partition, and instead of going through the trouble of painting, I use cardstock paper as the wall coloring. So a little trim and a little glue, an awful lot of fitting to try to get it to match up. So you'll see quite a bit of fiddling and fidgeting here while I try to get all the pieces together. I wanted to also put a little door because you needed a way to get from the front of the bakery into the kitchen where all the magic happens. Had a little door left over from a house kit and figured I could make that work. So after I trimmed it and then I cut a little section out of the wall panel, I was able to glue it down. And then most swinging doors in food restaurants or bakeries will have a little windows so you don't knock into each other when you open the door. So I basically used a little mirror. I have a sheet of mirrors. It's flexible mirror that I got off of Amazon some time ago. With a hole punch, it cut the perfect size to make a little pretend window there. So there's still a little more fidgeting. I made some wall signs for the interior of the bakery with the name of the bakery, some of the services that are provided, cupcakes, wedding cakes, gift baskets. And here I'm fitting those. Basically it's the same image on all three walls, but when you're looking through the front windows you don't really know. So gluing those on, and then we can basically put the walls in place finally, and the walls just get glued to the polystyrene walls that are already present. A little backstory on why I chose to put a bakery in this spot is because a friend of mine that I've worked with for years started making cakes as a little boutique business out of her home, and she has done a wonderful job. And she was the first person who always loved hearing me talk about this project I did for my dad, and it was her idea actually that I start a YouTube channel. And she said she'd be one of the first people to watch. So I figured it was only appropriate to honor Christina's Cakes, Berries, and More. She's a beautiful person and a wonderful friend. So Cristina, here's to you. All this process took several hours, even though it doesn't appear so. So I figured at this point I would create just a little scene of the moving in. Had a little moving man, some obscure looking maybe furniture, and a couple of bakers. That'll be her staff. And figured I would set it all up from the outside, and I'll continue working on the interior details as we go. So I also spent some time finally making signs for the storefronts in the little town square in Windsor Valley. And here I'm just finishing up some of the decals that I printed and applied to the storefront signs. Some of these signs have special meaning and some are just fun. Bobby Hall's Hobby House, at some point we'll talk about that. And here we have the Phoenix Records, my favorite record shop. It's Pretend. And here's Christina's sign, Christina's Cakes, Berries, and More. And one of my favorites, with permission from JJ over at the Great Northern Channel, I finally had a reason for Rocky's Corner Tavern to be named Rocky. So he allowed me to use his mascot as also the mascot for our pub. So thank you, JJ. You're awesome. Thank everybody for watching. I appreciate all of you. Like and subscribe, ring the bell, and have an awesome rest of your night.